Reuters Labs is a very small team, which I head up, and our role is basically to experiment, and to experiment taking enough risk that we're actually allowed to fail. We're allowed to do experiments that never go anywhere. But we hope that most of the experiments will prove something and will get taken on by the organization. We did some pretty weird things. I don't know if you know about Twitter. It's a micro-blogging format. So we looked at what we could do with Twitter. And we had some conversations and thought, well, maybe Twitter actually acts as a sort of an early warning system. And so my colleague Evan, he actually built some filters on top of Twitter that looked for earthquakes. It looked for certain words which would be said if somebody felt an earthquake. And in the first 2 weeks that we had it running, we detected 4 earthquakes. So this is literally people, when they feel an earthquake, go, ooh, was that an earthquake? Or, whoa, quake. Whoa, tremor or something. And they just say that in their Twitter. But because it all comes in a burst, because an earthquake hits more than one person, we had a sort of a little statistical model that detected many people in a quick moment saying the word quake or a related word, and we would trigger an alert. And at one point, we ran upstairs to the newsroom and said, something weird's going on in DC. We think it might be an earthquake or even a bomb. It wasn't entirely clear. And they called up the DC newsroom. So this is New York calling DC, Washington DC that is, to tell them something seems to have happened. And Washington DC were like, we haven't heard about this. And then they did. And they were like, how did you know? And we had to tell them it was from Twitter. And they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that some microblogging format was finding things faster than their own teams on the ground. Now, in that case, it was a particularly odd event that happened. And actually, it wasn't entirely clear in the end that it was an earthquake or not. But something happened, and it was detected up via Twitter. So there are these interesting things that are happening, and we're trying to stay on the leading edge to find out what might be the next thing. There might be, something we as yet don't know about, which that's what our role is, to experiment.